When you find a real estate platform that aligns everyone in the entire company financially by making us real estate agents owners, so when the average agent wins, everyone wins, that's the secret to success. And when you surround yourself with like-minded entrepreneurial people who absolutely love what they do, they love serving people, they love God and life, and you put yourself in an environment of high energy, high producing, positive people every day, you can't help but succeed in business and life. We are changing the real estate industry and changing real estate agents' lives. Welcome to the Financial Freedom Forever Podcast.
We have Mr. James Massey from Atlanta, Georgia here today in our Financial Freedom Forever podcast. I'm super excited. My business partner and friend. How you doing today, James?
Doing good, Andre. Happy to be on, buddy.
Well, I'm excited to share your story and share with all our friends and listeners here what you've been doing and accomplishing in your business. So let's just jump right into it. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your real estate journey, and how we got from there to where we are today.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, basically, I'm a regular agent just like everybody else starting out. I kind of got into real estate kind of back doors. I mean, I was an investor first, so I got my real estate license, honestly, just to be able to just close my own deals. But I had a business that I had like 5 locations inside of Turner Field, which was the Braves Stadium at that particular time. And what they ended up doing is they canceled my contract there. And but I was already investing in buying properties and things of that nature. But it just put me in a situation where now I had to like get into the residential sales for part of the real estate, as opposed to what I was trying to do initially, which is only be an investor. So that was like my first into the sales part of it. One of the biggest things that I did was to start getting connected with people. I never forget, I went to a training with the company that I was in at the time. And, they was kind of talking about contracts and things of that nature. And the guy stood up that was presenting, and he said, 80% of real estate agents make less than $35,000 a year. So, right then and there, I'm like, what am I doing? Why did I get in this industry? What's happening with this whole situation? So, after that, I really didn't hear anything else that the guy was speaking, because I just kept thinking about like my decisions at that point, so they had like a break in there, like a little 15-minute break. And I was sitting next to this guy. His name was Al Hunter. And I asked him, I said, hey, so how's business? I really wasn't trying to like really find out how his business was. I was really looking for him to give me a pity party. Like I was already kind of depressed. Right. So, it was right around about November. And he told me, he was like, man, business is great. I mean, I got 8 closings in the month of December. So right in and there, I was like, okay, this guy's saying 80% make 35,000 or less. This guy said he has 8 closings in the month of December. All right. What are you doing for lunch? And I'm going to pay for it. So literally I took the guy to lunch. He gave me some advice, and I was able to utilize some of that stuff and really just kind of, start my path into real estate, going that way. And, it just taught me a lesson that, I can try to figure stuff out, but if I can start getting connected to people that has already figured things out and kind of copying what they were doing, I'm able to reach my goals a whole lot faster.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's all about coaching. I mean, it took me 7 years to get to 40 units back in the day when I was just getting going in real estate. And then we started paying some coaches, some real estate coaches that were at a level where we wanted to be at, and started doing what they taught, and went from 79 units to 109 units and continued to grow our business. So exactly what you're saying. You want to hang around people that are that are higher than where you are and where you want to be, and you're going to get to where you want to be, right? That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. So I mean, that kind of it taught me a lesson, right? I mean, within this journey, it's like I had to continue to seek after those type folks. So I mean, I was like, single agent for like 3 years, there, and just kind of, moving along, And one thing I didn't like about the single agent part of it is that, the real estate roller coaster part is like,
Right.
you know, I have a closing this month, won't have a closing next month, have 4 closings, then I have no closing for 2 months. So it's like, what I call steak 1 month, ramen noodles the next month. You're just kind of
Yeah.
going back and forth, right? So, but the biggest part that I didn't like about it was that if I went on vacation with the family, if I did
Mhm.
anything, if I took any time off, I did not get paid. I did not make any money during that time. So I had to come back and I had to hustle up again and then, to get some more money. And if I took time off, that was the same situation, which it wasn't like that with the company that I had before because I had employees that was working and things of that nature. So,
Right.
so I got introduced to this team platform and, really start, learning about that and understanding what that process was. We hired our first admin person to kind of do transactions because I hated
Right.
paperwork. You did not want me to do your paperwork, believe me. So,
Right.
but I was pretty good face to face. Then we was able to get a inside sales agent. And, for those that don't know, those are the people that are calling and booking appointments and keeping things going for you.
Right.
I was that at first. For my team, I started bringing on agents and then sending them on appointments, and just kind of just built and built from there. So, I was thinking that was my way out. That was the best thing that I can do in real estate, to create freedom and time. So I always say, like, people got one or two problems, right? They got no money and a lot of time, or they got a lot of money and no time. And
Right.
very few people have money and time at the same time. So that's what I was working on trying to create.
That's what we're all looking for. Your story sounds a lot like mine, doing the same thing. Hired your first buyer agent and an admin, and that's when we started doubling our business by leveraging, right? Well, hey, just want to shout out to Bill and Kathy and the people that are on our Facebook or our podcast. If you guys have any questions, hey, thanks. Someone's saying a couple of legends are calling you a legend, James, and you are. You guys are selling a lot of properties. Your team's really growing. So super excited to unpack things. If anyone has any questions, please put them in the chat, and we'll ask James your questions. So I got a couple of questions for you. How did you hear about EXP, and what were the top one or two things that really got you excited that would actually have you take a look and make a move? Because I know you were doing high six-figure income, selling a lot of houses and making some great income before you came over to EXP. Tell us about how you heard about it and what were the top things that had you take a look.
Yeah, man. They say like either you're gonna move because of pain or you're gonna move because of opportunity. And my situation was, I guess, a little bit of both, right?
Okay.
So Dan Hillsman, everybody knows Dan Hillsman, Dan the man. So he approached us about it initially. And he knew some stuff that was going on because we was all at the same brokerage that was about to happen. So when he first brought it up, it was like, I don't know. I mean, I'll look into it a little bit more. But when the switch happened at the brokerage, basically they just went up on our commission 8 months ago, and they were just about to go up again, and the reasoning behind it just didn't make sense to me. So
So
um,
your fees were going up. They were changing what your original deal was.
yep,
So that
yep,
was the pain, right?
that
So
was
it
that
made
was the
you
pain.
look a little bit.
Yep, and we had just came off that year. I think we paid him. We paid like 55,000 in commissions, or 55,000 to the broker.
Right.
Not to mention the tools, the CRM that we was paying for. That was $700 a month. The coaching was $1,050 a month. So you're talking about $1,750 a month on top of the $55,000 that we just paid, and now
Wow.
you're talking about actually going up again. So we're just crunching numbers. Like I tell anybody, a lot of time it's just math. If you sit down and just do the freaking math, everything else will make sense. So
Right.
so that happened, and then I kept running into a problem in my business, right? So I bring an agent on. The agent wasn't as successful at first. we'll give them our systems, our training, our processes, and then they'll go out and they'll start selling a lot of houses. And then after that, they'll leave. So so then we'll bring another agent on, and then we'll give them our training, our processes, all the other stuff, and then they'll leave. So it was like rinse and repeat this whole thing. So it's like I'm training my competition the whole time. So yeah, the freedom that I thought that I was going to be able to achieve, I wasn't able to achieve that in that model. So I was kind of looking for some kind of way to make things better. So when I started seeing the model of what it actually brought, not only the ownership part of it, which was huge to me, because it's better to be an owner than a renter.
Right.
Then obviously the connection with some of the people, Jay, Michael, Al, all these guys, and the coaching platform that they had created, and then also the ability to have the revenue share part of it. So it was like it answered that question of if an agent pretty much pulled past where they wanted to be, or where they wanted to be as far as sales, and wanted to step out on their own, then they can actually do that, and I can still help them, and it'll still be a benefit to me as well. So
Right.
it's like the proper alignment was there. So I've had 3 agents that was able to leave my team, and they was able to start their own thing and their own teams of their own, which is
That's
greatly
huge.
rewarding. Yeah, so that's huge, right?
Well, yeah, in the old days, like you said, you train them and then they leave because they've outgrown where you're at, and they're getting closer to your level, and now they want to be more like you and start their own team and leverage. And in all the old models, they had to leave to really be able to do that, right, and go on their own. But what you're saying with the EXP model, it's set up so they stay plugged into the company, but they start their own team. They become a team leader, start training. But because we're all financially aligned, then you don't ever lose, that financial connection, right?
Yep.
So you want them to. In the old days, when you were selling 30 homes a year, 50 homes a year, whatever it might be, and then you train somebody, and you never really you want them to succeed, but you don't really want them to like pass you, right? Well, in this model, you're happy if they pass you. You're happy if they get to 100 or 200, 300 homes a year and build a massive team because you're all connected and you're willing to help them. So yeah, that was huge.
Yeah, I mean, the thing of it is, I mean, you got to ask yourself, and I had to ask myself. It's like, all right, so let's say I needed help in real estate, and I want to join the team, and then I joined that team, and I started getting some success. I mean, at a certain point, I'm gonna want to leave. I know me. I mean, nobody got into real estate. No person became an agent because they wanted to work on somebody's team. That just wasn't the dream at the time. You became an agent because you wanted to be your own person, closing your own deals and having your own success. So, I couldn't, I mean, at first, I didn't quite understand it, but, once I got real to understand what was going on, it was like, all right, I would do the same thing. So there has to be a better way. And EXP was the better way.
How long was your due diligence period from the day that you heard about it the first time to the time that you actually made a change? How long was that time period?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably about 30 day-ish,
Okay.
kind of what it was, about 30, 45 days, somewhere around there.
What was your due diligence period? What did you do? What are some of the things that you did, and what would you recommend? You were kind of looking because of the change. There's a lot of people out there that, hey, they're comfortable. Things are good. No one's changed anything on them in a while.
Yeah.
So they're comfortable. What would you suggest to those people that are comfortable? Because let me ask you, I keep asking another question here, but if they didn't make any change, would you have looked at the model then?
If they did make a change, would I have looked at the model?
Would you still looked at it or no? That would have been a mistake, but do you think that you would look at it or no?
Be honest with you, it probably was something that I would not have looked at as as close to as it was. Like I said, it was brought up to me before, and I didn't even look. I didn't even look at the model at all. I didn't look to try to understand. It was like, hey, I'm selling houses. Things are going well. I'm just transaction. I just, the thing of it is you lie to yourself, right? So it's like, all right, so when somebody leaves, it's like, I don't have the right person. So if I get the right person, then that person will stay. Or it's like, oh, I just got to create the right culture. So now it's something on you. So like, I got to figure out what culture I got to bring, but as you start looking at it and you start getting connected to people that are way bigger and do way bigger numbers to you, they were having the same problems, people selling 500, 700 homes a year. Their people are leaving as well. The only difference is, they might have a better attraction method to bring people in and keep things going. But they were having the same issues. So I mean that, it probably would not have been something I would have looked at initially. But that would have been a huge mistake because when I tell you this company has totally changed the life for me, but more importantly, the life for the people that I've been able to attract to it. Just talking to folks and saying, them telling me their stories and where they were and where they are now. Just from the homes. I mean, we got so many people that have never sold a certain amount of homes and capped before, and all of a sudden, because they're plugged into the system, all of a sudden they're selling way more houses, they're selling way more real estate. But at the same time, they're creating equity. All of them have stock. Some of them are getting the revenue share piece of it and attracting agents. I mean, it's just all around a better way. I've never been having much fun as I am now right now in real estate.
So it's been really a blessing from the good Lord that there was a little bit of a change for you to take a look, because you're saying you never really looked the first time you heard about it, but you would open up your eyes once there was a change. So I guess the best advice that we can give to anyone is, hey, if you're happy or not, you don't know what you don't know. Just be open to take a look, because it could just change not just your lives, but the people around you as well. That's fantastic.
One thing I say, Andre. So my pastor, he used to have this thing he called spiritual bumpers, right? So like basically things that happen in your life that kind of push you where you probably would not have done it on your own, but kind of push you in the direction that you really need to go. So, I mean, I really, try to pay attention to those. I look back on them rather. So, I mean, I strongly believe that me getting into real estate was a spiritual bumper. And then, getting to EXP was also a spiritual bumper to get me where I needed to be in order to create what we've been able to create here. Like, how many people would not have been getting and achieving some of the stuff that they're achieving now had he not put me in that direction? So many folks, them, but would not have been where, they are right now if I would not have been pushed in that right direction. So, I mean, I thank God for that.
Yeah, I'm the same way, man. I was, my story as well. I was happy. I was a coach for a company there for 9 years, making a good 6-figure, income, working, 9 to 5, plan on retiring. And they made a few changes. So it got a little bump, right, for me to start taking a look. And thank the good Lord as well that I was open to look at this model, and it's been a game changer for me as well. So, and a lot of the people that we're blessed to be in partners with. So, I just thank the good Lord. So what surprised you most about EXP? What were you not expecting that might be even better than you thought it would be?
Yeah. Probably the stock, man, honestly.
Okay.
That was not on my radar initially. It was something that I knew was out there. I knew ownership was important, and I knew wherever I was before, I was getting nothing. So if the stock went to $1, that was more than what I was getting. From there, I'm just a Century 21 agent or Remax or whatever. So that right there probably was my biggest surprise. I mean,
okay.
I have people in the organization that I brought on a little bit after I joined, and they got $200,000 worth of stock,
Wow.
$100,000 worth of stock. One person has $600,000 worth of stock. I mean, it's
Wow.
incredible how just having ownership, and if that particular business goes up, that you go up with it. So I think that's the biggest thing that I was surprised about being with EXP. And and another thing was probably the collaboration. I really thought. I say this. So with our group, right? I'm going on multiple things at this point now, right? But with our group, it's one thing to have somebody that is willing to share, but we've had so many folks that want to share and go out their way to share in order for others to be successful, that are not even we're not even really aligned, but it's like anything I can do to help. I'm there. So perfect example. I just reached out to Curtis Swells, and he, we were just kind of talking, and he's going to do our next mastermind next month.
Okay.
So just like I said, we're in the same Honey Badger group, but we're not in the direct line. But
Right.
somebody like that he's responsible for, he's helped the Mark Z team and basically runs his team for him, and he's built a huge organization in of itself, and just kind of sharing. Those are the kind of people that you want to align with.
Yeah, those are some awesome relationships. Yeah, it's incredible. And the reason for that, right? Even though they may not be in your alignment, they're still part of the company. And because EXP is we're all owners and we all own the stock, as the stock continues to go up, then and the stock goes up and goes down, but as it continues to grow, we all grow with it, right? I mean, the stock was like $8.15 when I first joined 2.5 years ago. What was it at when you joined?
Man, it was like about $12.
12 bucks.
Yeah, like
Because you joined a little bit before me, so it was up and it had came down. So
yeah,
I came in a good spot because I bought a bunch of that stock at $8.15. Thank the Lord.
yeah,
And I know before the stock split, 4, 5, 6 months ago, it was what $160, $70 or something. Then we had a 2-for-1 stock split.
yeah.
So now we double. I think I looked the other day, it was like $45 or something like that a share. That's a game changer.
Yeah, I mean
Awesome.
that's huge, man. Like I said, it was one of my biggest surprises. Happily, within the company, to be able to achieve that part of it. So yeah,
And with the company growth, has that been surprising to you at all? I mean, how many agents were in the company when you joined? And I know we hit over 65,000 there a few weeks ago.
yeah, man. It was about 15,000, I want to say.
15,
So
yeah.
about 15,000 agents, and now having over 65,000 agents, and then the number of countries as well. In 15 different countries, I think it is now. I mean, the growth is huge, and that's a big thing as well, Andre. Just going back to the ownership part of it, because like I've been at other companies, and the company they want to they promote themselves, right? They say we're the biggest this, or we got the best number of sales here. We
Right.
and you hear that, and it makes you proud, that you're at a company that's being successful. Nobody wants to be somewhere that's not successful, right? So you're proud of that, but it didn't benefit me. It wasn't no benefit. Here it's like, this stuff is happening and we're in another country, and it's like, oh man, we're in another country. That means I'm part of ownership of a company that just went into another country. I'm part of an ownership that just went to 65,000 agents. I'm part of an ownership where, it's a different feeling. I know Brent Gold, he was talking about it. He was saying like, the equivalent of being somewhere else is the same as you're renting a house, and then you're bragging that the homeowner went and paid his house off. It's like, oh yeah, this house is paid off, but you're just renting, so you're just help doing it.
You helped doing it, yeah.
He just renovated the kitchen. Oh, great, but you're not the owner. You're not going to benefit from this at all. You just keep paying it in, and you saying he did it, but actually you did it because you're the one that's supporting it and building it for him to be able to do it. So that's I thought that was a pretty good way to look.
Analogy, yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome. Hey, I know a big question many agents ask, what kind of support do you get from the local brokers? And then I'll ask you what kind of support you get from the other people in your that are your senior business partners. Has that
Yeah.
been a game changer for you?
Yeah, man. I mean, the cool thing about the broker support part of it is we got the world. So before I used to have to, get on the phone and hope somebody picks up the phone, and if they don't pick up the phone, and I have to wait and stuff like that. But here I just jump in the EXP world. I go to the broker stateroom, and normally there's somebody right there waiting. Usually I take a number, and usually it's like one or two, and you're in there within like 5 minutes, and you're talking to a broker trying to help your problem. But honestly, that rarely happens. It don't happen very much because the group that we're part of and the group that we're connected with. I mean, it's just a matter of just asking somebody that's already been there and done that. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel with this. I'm not. Somebody say like, yeah, trailblazer. Like, yeah, that's cool to be a trailblazer, but I would rather find a person that has already trailed blaze that trail, and then follow right behind them, because I'm gonna get there so much faster. Now, if I get to a point where that trail ends because that's as far as they've blazed it, I got a couple of options. Right, one, I can start trying to hack through the bushes myself, or two, which is what I find to be the best way to do it, is to find somebody that have taken that trail even further and start following that trail.
There you go. And there's always plenty of people that are in our network that are above us that are doing, you know, 600, 700, 1,000. I know people that are doing 1,000 transactions a year and making, six figures a month,
Yeah.
and even a few seven a month. So we got plenty of people to follow. That's pretty cool. What about getting access to the National Association of Expert Advisors, NAEA, that coaching and training? I know we paid for coaching and training in the past. How does it compare? I know because of our group, we get access to all that at no cost. So we do have a big benefit. How's that compared to and it's helped your business? And do you really take advantage of jumping on Jay Kinder, Michael Reese, Al Stasik's schedule? Are they really available for you? I mean, how many times have you talked to those guys since you've been here?
I mean, of course, I mean, Jay pulled it up. I mean, I think he said it was like 47, 48 times or whatever that he's done a call with me. Honestly, I think it's more than that, because some of those calls was somebody else's call, but I was just on ear hustling. So, just kind of
You
just
were
getting
learning.
information. Yeah, I was just learning. So, I mean, the biggest thing is this. The NAEA, National Association of Expert Advisors, like they've helped agents to sell hundreds of homes, 500, 600, 700 homes a year, whatever level. The information is there. The system and the platform is there. You just got to plug in. So I'll tell anybody, if you don't plug in, if you're sitting on the sideline, if you're not going to the training, if you're not pulling the information up, if you're not jumping on the calendar talking to anybody, then you're doing yourself a disjustice, because the wealth of knowledge is there for you to take your business on whatever level you want to be at.
All right, fantastic. Hey, we got a question from for someone that's watching. It says, "What are some tips or strategies you use to nourish your group to help retention?"
Yeah. Uh, Basically, what I do is I try to make everybody aware of what's going on, right? So just text messages, emails, kind of just give them a call, see how everything's doing, checking up with everybody, seeing what the needs are. I mean, you normally can tell when somebody's starting to fall off if they're not showing up to the events. And when I say events, I'm talking about the Zooms and things of that nature, the weekly stuff. And it could be just that they're busy, or life happens,
Right.
that stuff happens. But you definitely got to check in on everybody and love on them.
All right. So you're checking in with your team members a lot. And you said if they get on the Zooms, what are you doing for your team in our group, as far as Zooms and in training over and above what EXP? I know EXP offers 50, 60 hours a week, and NAEA has 3 or 4 live trainings for us to jump on in our private Facebook page. And I know you're doing some things too. What are you doing for our group?
Yeah, so we do a mastermind once a month, usually the second Friday of the month, where we're interviewing, or not really interviewing, but somebody presenting that's been killing it in the industry. We've had Pierre on there, 500 plus homes a year. Harrison, his family group, 500 plus homes a year. We've had Sekou on there,
Right.
they're DeVoe team up there. He runs the DeVoe team. Jay Kinder's been on there. Michael, not Michael, but Al Stanky's been on there. I mean, just so many people just kind of giving back. But on top of it, we do like other different types of training. We actually after this we're gonna do kind of a role play training. Kind of agent attraction type thing where we're going over scripts and things of that nature. But Dan, he put together the whole Q&A. So like just constantly, helping agents. I think that's the biggest thing. If you come from a place of help and and walking them through things that that they're needing, I think you'll find yourself being successful in this model.
All right, fantastic. Well, thanks for that. And I just a couple of more questions. I'll thank David O'Connor there for asking that question earlier. David, if anyone else has any other questions, please just put them in the chat. We got a few more minutes. Let me ask you, James, if there was just one takeaway that you want to make sure that if there's anyone listening today that is close friends of yours, someone that you cared about, what would you want to make sure they understood that they took away from this interview?
Man, the biggest thing is what we're doing is we're changing agents' lives. And you can't. I mean, there's a lot of different times that opportunities come up. This one right here, you don't want to miss it. You don't want to overlook it. You want to really look into this model, do a deep dive, and see what we're all about. Some people say like we're all about recruiting. No, we're all about helping. We're all about changing lives. We're all about getting you and your family to the next level. Where you want to be. I mean, I know one person that was just talking to me before. It's like, man, I get to dream again. Like that is huge. I get to dream again. So when did we stop dreaming? when life started happening, and we get into our regular routine of things. Like no, we get to dream again, and that's what you want to do.
And you said earlier too, we didn't mention it, but you said you're having fun again.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you exactly? I mean, you're out there, you're busy, you're working, you're helping people, but explain this, that you're having fun again in real estate. What do you mean by that?
Man, so I like it. I always say this, right? So there's a certain reward, most of the time when you're dealing with a buyer or seller, right? Because you get them to achieve home ownership, or
Right.
you get them to be able to sell their biggest asset and put money in their pocket. And that comes with some challenges sometimes because every deal is not great. But there's no better reward for me than when an agent starts to achieve their goal, because that agent, you're going to be able to see their life change, their family members change. You're going to be in their life a whole lot longer. You're going to see them to be able to, go on that nicer vacation, have that nicer car, that nicer house. When you're starting to see that stuff and that it's because of this model and it's because of the connections, it's because, all of that stuff, like that's fun. That is a lot. Well, that's a lot of fun at that point. So that's what I mean when I say having fun again. Being able to see is the reward of agents that have put in the work and got plugged in and getting the results.
And going to the live events that we all get to go to as well. I know we're going to be hitting Las Vegas here in the next few weeks. That's going to be fantastic. We all going to get together, have dinner, learn, and network. And I understand, hasn't your wife just got her real estate license as well? Is that correct? That probably would have never happened unless it was this model, right?
Nah, absolutely not, man. I mean, she, I was. It's funny because I was going to like some of the conventions, the Key West and things of that nature, and I'm in these like real nice places, and I'm learning, right? And I'm coming back. First of all, I'm feeling guilty because it's like they're really vacation spots. so,
Yeah.
so they're on vacation spots, but the information I'm getting, I'm going back and I'm trying to, tell her some things or whatever, because, it's literally changing my life and how I think. But, it's secondhand information what I'm saying. So Cabo came up and I was like, hey, I need you to go to Cabo with me. So, I bought a ticket for her to go in the event, not just go there, but go into the event and hear the same information. So I went, the event was great, learned a whole lot, but more importantly, we met a lot of great people. So she came back. She said she's getting a real estate license. She went and took it. She got a license. And, we're going to start doing some of this stuff together. She's going to be able to help me out.
Yeah, that's life changing too, right? To be there with your partner and be able to go to these events. That's pretty cool. My last question: if you could do it all over again, James, would you do anything differently as far as your real estate career or moving over to EXP? Is there anything that you would do differently?
Differently, I wish I'd have been. When I first got presented with the information, I wish I'd have just went on to make the leap there, because it cost me money. So that extra stock and all that other stuff that I would have been getting, and being able to take the business to the next level. I wish I'd have jumped over a lot quicker where that's concerned. But I mean, the other part of it is like, I believe life is a journey, man. So I don't really regret very much. So I think everything has been a learning point for me to get to where I am right now. So yeah, that's like I said, wish I'd have jumped earlier. I wish I could tell the story of, man, I saw the model and I was just so blown away and I just came over, So but I mean, obviously that wasn't it. But like I said, it was a spiritual bumper with that. But I just believe it was God's plan, and He knew what it took to, and what was going to happen if I had came on, and how other people was going to be affected. And I just thank God that that happened, so I can get where I need to be.
Right. Well, it's funny. I asked most everyone that question at the end is if they would do anything different, and 9 out of 10 is, well, I wish I would have came over faster. I wish I would have done my due diligence and actually put the time and effort into it, and not just kind of be flippantly about it just when I get time. So most people say the same exact thing. So anyway, for the guys out there listening to this, do your due diligence. Call James. The number's on the screen there. Call me, or anybody that has reached out to you in the past. If they're reaching out to you, it's because they like you, they care about you, and they wanna at least have you look at the opportunity, because it's probably changed their life and ours. I want to shout out to David and Bill and Nick DeVito. Shout out to you guys for all jumping on today. One last question before we sign off. If you're a reader, what's the best inspirational book that you love? Or if you're a movie watcher, what's the name of your favorite movie of all time, James?
Okay. All right. Reader, best book, I would have to say Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I mean, that book, that was a life changer for me, just kind of understanding that whole process. That's been the journey that I've been on literally since I, read that book. Best movie, man, that's a hard one. Comedy wise, I mean, it would have to be Coming to America. I mean, Godfather. So,
all right, great. Well, hey, man, I appreciate you jumping on here today, James. Tune in next Wednesday, 12 o'clock for the next Financial Freedom Forever podcast. I'll see you at our next training that we're going to be doing here at 1 o'clock today. Every Wednesday, we do that with you and with scripts and growing our teams. We're also doing the Thursdays at 1 o'clock Eastern. That's when we train 100% on production. So guys out there watching, you don't have to be on our team. If you're in real estate, we want to love on you. We want to help you grow your business. Reach out to me or James. We can get you a free link to any of that training that we're doing. We're here to help. Thanks. We'll see you soon, and have a good day.
All right.
Bye, buddy. I think it's taking forever to end. There we go. Wait a minute. For some reason, it's not ending. I clicked the end button. Hey, we're live.